Welcome to the Kids Kingdom. Please like, share and subscribe the channel. Press the bell icon.
Once upon a time, in the Grand Kingdom of Aliveria, there lived a little princess named Rosalind. She was only 7 years old, with golden hair that sparkled in the sunlight and bright blue eyes full of curiosity. She had everything a princess could wish for: beautiful gowns, shining jewels, and a palace full of toys. Yet, there was one thing missing in her life: friends to play with. Being a princess, Rosalind was only allowed to meet the children of nobles, dukes, earls, and lords. These children were polite and well-dressed, but they never laughed loudly, ran freely, or played messy games. They sat straight, spoke softly, and always behaved like little adults. Rosalind found this very boring. She wanted to run barefoot on grass, splash in puddles, and sail paper boats in the stream like she had seen from her palace window. Every morning, she watched the common children playing near the castle walls. They laughed, shouted, and chased each other with joy. Rosalind longed to be one of them, even for a single day. One sunny morning, when the palace was quiet and her governess was busy sewing, Rosalind made a bold plan. She wore a simple frock, tied her hair with a plain ribbon, and quietly slipped out through the garden gate. Her heart beat fast with excitement. She had never been outside the palace alone before. The road was lined with flowers and tall trees. Birds sang cheerfully as Rosalind walked toward the little town nearby. Soon, she heard children laughing. Following the sound, she reached a narrow lane where a group of boys were playing with wooden sticks and paper boats in a small stream. Rosalind's eyes lit up. "So this is what real fun looks like," she whispered. But as she stepped closer, the children noticed her. "Who is that girl?" one boy asked. "She looks like a princess," said another, staring at her fine shoes and pretty dress. Soon all the children gathered around her. The little girls admired her frock and ribbons. "Your dress is so beautiful," said one. "Are those real pearls?" asked another. Rosalind smiled shyly, but their curious eyes made her feel uncomfortable. She wasn't used to being surrounded like this. Everyone kept asking questions, touching her frock, and whispering. Feeling awkward, Rosalind turned and ran away as fast as she could. Her shoes got muddy, and her hair came loose, but she didn't stop until she reached another part of the town. There, near a meadow, she found another group of children sitting under a tree, folding paper airplanes. For a moment, Rosalind thought of going back to the castle. But then she remembered why she had come: to play like a common child. She took a deep breath and walked up to them. "Hello," she said softly. "Can I play too?" The children looked at her, surprised. A little boy handed her a piece of paper and said, "Of course. But you have to make your own airplane." Rosalind smiled and sat down with them. She didn't know how to make a paper airplane, so the boy showed her how to fold it step by step. When she threw it into the air, it glided beautifully, and she clapped her hands with joy. Then they played tag, hide and seek, and even made tiny boats out of old paper. Rosalind loved sailing her paper boat in the stream, cheering as it floated along the water. For the first time in her life, she felt truly happy and free. She forgot she was a princess; she was just Rosalind, a little girl among friends. The children liked her too. She was kind, cheerful, and never acted proud. When they shared their snacks, she ate with them, laughing and talking like she had known them forever. But back at the palace, the king and queen were terribly worried. They searched every room, every garden, but Rosalind was nowhere to be found. Finally, the royal guards were sent out into the town to look for her. When Rosalind saw the guards coming from a distance, she sighed. She knew her adventure was over. The children looked at her in surprise as the guards bowed deeply and said, "Your Highness, we have been looking everywhere for you." The children's mouths fell open in astonishment. "You're really a princess?" one of them whispered. Rosalind nodded shyly. "Yes, but please don't stop being my friends," she said. The guards gently led her back to the castle. The king and queen hugged her tightly, tears of relief in their eyes. "Rosalind, why did you go without telling anyone?" the queen asked. "I just wanted to play with the other children," Rosalind said softly. "Not the royal ones, but the real ones, the ones who laugh and play games and sail boats in streams. I had the best day ever." The king and queen looked at each other. They saw how happy their daughter was and realized that a princess's heart needed joy as much as jewels.